back. I always take images of the back, and on the left, right above the heart or behind the heart, however you want to say, it was very blue. It was like a blue light bulb.
So that'd be cool, a cool region, so it's not moving blood. Okay, got it.
Once again, it can show in the thymus. If the thymus, almost every woman I've ever seen that had either like Lyme disease or breast cancer or whatever, their thymus is very blue.
Oh, and that's from the front, right?
In the front, and then you can see it in the back of the neck. That's an indication of a compromised immune system.
Oh, that relates to the immune system, like we were talking about before. Yeah. Really, it shows up in the back of the neck, huh?
Yeah. So
down by C7.
No, it's below the C. It's in the T2,
thoracic, T1 and 2.
I think it's T2 is the one that they notice. Where that. Another thing is when we do the full body, we also include the arms, legs, hands, and feet. That can show blood clots, injuries, arthritis, but there can be a gloved effect with the hands, and that is an indication of blood sugar issues. You can be pre-diabetic. So it's amazing the amount of things that.
And you do when you do the full body, you also do the bottoms of the feet,
absolutely.
So we can see what's going on up the spinal column, right?
Right.
And if there's a disparity between right and left,
yes,
and that'll really be a good indicator. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about the gut, because I know Kimberly deals so much with food, and we know as a colon therapist that the gut is king.
Oh yes.
So what is it? What are some of the things you see with thermography?
Well, basically, it would show up as inflammation in different parts. And Kimberly, if you know about this, of course, there's the abdominal brain, and Edgar Casey spoke about that. And different types of personalities can have different areas in their colon that are affected. Have you heard this? I think it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you're the type of person that has a lot of fear, it will show up in one area. If you have anger or whatever, and not that this is necessarily related to thermography, but it's part of the whole picture when you can see which specific area that is showing the inflammation. And of course, there's like the ileocecal valve, that little valve between the large intestine and the small, that can become very compromised.
So you can pick that out in the thermography, huh?
The doctor can, and then diverticulosis or diverticulitis, and
they'll show. And also, I know that Kristen used to talk about the popcorn effect, and that's from hormones and
or
like poor diet
and adrenals. Interesting. We call it a mottled effect too. And so that's when I was mentioning earlier about the estrogen dominance. You'll see that mottled effect. You'll see that in the chest, but if you've got adrenal issues, you'll see it below.
Okay, isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. You know, and Kimberly, I know we've talked about the effect of 5G as well, and I'm just wondering, share a little bit about what you've seen, and then I'm wondering if thermography could.
Yes, we've done some studies with that.
So I have all of my thermography since the time I've started taking them. As soon as the modem went underneath my desk, I didn't realize the effect that it was having, that it was from the modem. I thought something was going on with my body. My liver I was getting more sensitive. My digestive elimination, which Dr. Kelly Halderman calls the 2.5. There's different phases of detox in the liver. So she says it shuts that down. It increases inflammation, which then shuts down your detox. So I saw more inflammation systemic throughout my body since that. And my diet is very clean now. So that's the only, and I jump on a trampoline every single morning. I walk on a beach. But yeah, so systemic inflammation, I say, is a direct link for myself to 5G. And I've heard other doctors and researchers talk about it as well.
Well, also it's that accumulative effect that you see.
That's important, yeah.
With diet and your body's already compromised, and that the way it was explained to me was that our cells talk to each other, and when you have these rapid currents going through, it interrupts that
Yes.
that language between. And so I was a part of a study in Nashville. They have these little shields that you put on your devices. And so we did some blind studies. And the one that was so impressive was with children working with their little game things, their little cordless game joysticks or whatever you call them. It was stunning, the difference in the children when they were playing with those things and not. So we didn't tell them what we were doing. We just took images before they played with it and when they did.
When they play with their little video games and their little handheld.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what did you actually see?
Well, you could see, we did it on a number of levels, but with the thermography, there was much more inflammation. Certainly with the cell phones, we really saw that because you're actually holding that to your head. Mm-hmm. But also on the strength, we did the muscle testing. And
good. Yeah.
And the study they were doing is they took the shields into a gym where people that were serious about working out knew exactly what they could do. And when they were wearing their iPhone headphones, and listening to music, then when they took it off, it turns out they could do better when they didn't realize. But when they put the shield on their device, they could do better.
That's so interesting because we have actually done with Kristen. We actually did some experiments because we have an ion chip that we bring into this office from Germany, and we showed how not only holding the phone up to your ear, how hot it gets. And even when you take the phone away, that heat continues. It shows up on the
That's exactly what we saw.
It was amazing. But then when we put the chip on the phone and put it next to the ear, there was in fact, the body just kept getting cooler because it's flooding, because that chip floods the body with negative ions, which offsets it. Now, when you combine it, and I know Kimberly and I've had a lot of discussion about 5G, and they're putting up 5G towers everywhere. But what occurs to me, and we talked about the radiation you get from mammograms, that's a level of radiation. Then you add to that, and you talked about the cumulative effect. Absolutely. You add to that like what Kimberly's talking about with the exposure to the computers, and now we've got the 5G towers. That's a doubling down, if you will.
And then when you think about doing mammograms every year, and then you do your dental x-rays, and then you do your chest x-rays or whatever, and I have heard it said that every time you have an x-ray, you increase your chances of cancer by 5%. I see a lot of
it accumulates year after year. It doesn't go away because you left the office, right? It stays in your system, right?
So I've seen many women that have had 20, 30 mammograms. They did their work year after year. So the doctor I had mentioned earlier.
And what do you see in there? Do you see an increase of congestion?
No, I'm not seeing that, but I'm just saying that their chances of getting breast cancer are much greater. The doctor, Ben Johnson, who I partnered with originally, he said that he had seen several cases of women with metastasized breast cancer that never had it in the breast originally because the compression would release the cancer cells into their body. So it's not just the radiation, it's that. So we haven't even mentioned the fact that with thermography, there's no emissions whatsoever. We do not touch you. We're just taking pictures of you. And with this special FDA-approved medical thermal camera. And so it's completely safe. And there's no worry about how many times you do it because there's no emission. It's no different than if you took a picture of yourself with your cell phone.
Yeah.
In terms of what effect it has on your body.
It's so great because you're not being they're protecting themselves, putting the lead around themselves, but you're not protecting that.
Yeah. And so
it's ironic.
A lot of tests are dangerous. People have problems with the tests, with dyes and different things. So that is something to think about of when you are going in for tests, what will that do? What is the effect on your body? Is it really worth doing it? And demanding to have the test that you choose is the right one for you. I have a problem with the fact that oftentimes they will not do an ultrasound without doing the mammogram first. And we're adults. We should be able to make the decision about what we want to have done and not go in as and have some doctor tell us, no, you have to do it our way.
Yeah, I think that's the empowerment that we really have the opportunity to step into. And, Kimberly, I was thinking about some of the people that you work with, it would be really interesting to have them get a thermography before
yes.
you put them on the programs that you have, and they can then see. I love the fact that you brought that up, that they don't really know that they're getting better. What do you think about that, Kimberly?
Right. It's a great idea.
Well,
yeah, I do suggest it, along with also colon hydrotherapy. So.
Oh yes, I'm very big on that, because as I say, it's not just what you eat; it's what you eliminate. And you can, if you have that buildup of toxins, but additionally, as you start to eat healthy and your body starts eliminating toxins, you can have that healing effect. And that negative healing effect in doing the lymphatic treatments and the colon therapy can help get those released toxins out of the body quicker, so people can manage it. Because oftentimes, I'm sure you know, by the time people come to see you, they feel so bad they can't handle feeling worse.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. We could talk on this for a long time, but we'd love to have you on the show again.
Well, thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
We want to be sure our listeners know where they can find you. Go ahead and say that again.
It's FloridaMedicalThermography.com, and my phone number is 727-729-2711.
And for those in Sarasota, we do the thermal imaging right here once a month with June. So thank you so much for listening, and be sure to listen in next time. And you can hear, if you didn't hear part one, you can come to our website at theholisticcommunity.com, and we've got you there. Okay.
Thank you
Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning into our show on societybitesradio.com. Don't worry, if you've missed a show, you can find them all on our website at SarasotaHolisticChamberofCommerce.com.